Hello everyone, this is DSS Zindabad and today we are going to discuss the daily challenge of Leetcode, which is first unique character in a string. Let's discuss the problem statement. We will be given a string S and we need to find the first non-repeating character in it and we need to return its index. If it does not exist, we'll return a -1. Okay, so from the problem statement, we understand we are given a certain string. For example, Leetcode is given to me, right? This is the string that has been given to me. From this string, what I need to find is I need to find the first non-repeating character and I need to return its index. So what I can do is I need to, whenever we talk about non-repeating character, that means the frequency of the corresponding character should be 1. Right. So this is a fact that we have established that if I want to figure out a non-repeating character, its frequency needs to be 1. And as I have to give the first index corresponding to the character present in the string S, which is non-repeating in nature. So first means you have to follow, for example, if you look at this string, if L is coming for the first time and it is on the 0th index and it is just occurring once, so we know that it has a frequency 1. Similarly, if you look at T is also occurring only once, but the index of L is 0, right? And the index of T is 3. So you will provide the answer which is the smallest one. Hence, the answer will be index 0. I hope it is clear to you. Now let's quickly discuss its approach. It's a very easy question. So basically for this approach, what I can do is, as I know, I'll be given characters, right? So I can use something like vector, wherein I'll create a vector of size 26 and I'll initialize all of these indexes with 0. So basically this vector will be representing A till Z. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll run a for loop and I'll increment the number of times a character is repeating. So what happens is it will start moving from the 0th index as you see L, right? You have been given a character. So whenever you have a character and you want to get a number, what you do is you take that character and you minus it from A. Okay, and then you have the corresponding number, the integer value to it. Okay, so I'll say whatever is S of I, I'll minus A, character A from it, right? And then I'll increment the frequency of that particular index in my vector that I have created to figure out the frequency part. Okay, because as when we're discussing the problem statement, we understood that the major component of this problem is to understand the frequency. Now, after I have a vector which contains the different frequencies of different elements that are present, right? For example, supposedly A had 2, B had 3, C had 1, D had 2, and similarly Z had 1. So here, now once I have this vector with me, what I'll do is I'll use this vector wherein I'll traverse the string, and while I'm traversing the string, I'll check if the corresponding character has a frequency equal to 1, and this frequency is stored here, right? So this is a very simple approach. Let's quickly have a dry run and then we'll code this up. So basically, as I know that I have been given a string as Leetcode. Okay, so herein what will happen is I have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 as the indexes. I'll create a vector, right, that has 0 corresponding to A, B, C, D, E, F, right? And similarly, it has other elements till Z here. And Z is 25. Okay. So basically what will happen is you will start from the 0th index. Okay. So somewhere down the line, you will get L, right? So as soon as you got an L, what will you do is you will say whatever is s of I minus the character a, right? L minus a represents 0 and L will represent the number corresponding to it. As we know, okay, so as we know that L corresponds to 14 and A corresponds to 0. So once we do that, we'll have 14 as the index, wherein we'll be, as if you already had 0 here in all of this array, we initialize it this way, right? So I'll cut this and I'll increment the value, it becomes 1. My pointer will move forward, I come across an E. So we go on the fourth index, we increment it. Then the index move forward, we again got an E, it gets incremented, it is now 2, right? You go to the next index, you get a T. T is 19, so here, somewhere here, you'll add a 0 and you will increment that value. Next, you move the pointer, you get a C, so this value gets incremented. After that, what happens is, you will again move your pointer, you're standing on the fifth index, right? You've got an O. So when you get an O, it is somewhere here, right? So you'll increment its value. Then you go to D, you'll increment its value in the vector V, which is keeping a track of the frequency of characters in the string S. Then you move forward, you get an E, and E already had a value that was 2. So now it becomes 3. So now finally we have this vector which contains the frequency of all the characters of the string. Once we have this, what now I'll do is, I'll again traverse through the string, and alongside traversing, I'll check for the frequency. So I'll quickly write the string again. This was the string that we had, right? So, so this So this was the string that we had, and this is the vector that we have. So I'll start from the index 0, right? I'll see I've got an L. For L, I'll check what is its corresponding frequency. If it is directly equal to 1, then I'll return it as the answer, right? Why is it the answer? Because you can see that L is the first character that is coming, right? And its index is 0. Suppose that we had some other L also, or let us suppose there was something before this, right? And L did not have a frequency 1, it had a frequency 2. Then you'll move forward, you'll go to the next character, you got an E. You'll check for the frequency of E, you find it is 3. So this is not the answer, because the answer would be that character which is non-repeating in nature, right? And this character, as you can see, has a frequency 3, that means it is coming 3 times. So it is not the answer. You again move forward, we again get an E, not the answer. Again move forward, we got a T. Now T has a frequency 1, so this will be considered as the answer. Okay, I hope it is clear. This second example I was giving with respect to something is before this L. There is a string before this L, only then we'll get the T as the answer. Okay, and considering that all the elements in this string before it have duplicates. Okay, so I hope it is clear. Now let's quickly code this up. The approach that we've thought of has a time complexity of O of n, and again a space complexity of O of 26, which is equivalent to O of 1 only, because it's a constant number. Let's quickly code this up. Okay, so this is the problem that has been given to us. My step 1 is to create the vector which will be storing the frequency. So I'll create a vector of integer type of 26 size, because there are 26 alphabets in English, right? We'll initialize all of them with 0. Then I'll run a loop from I is equals to 0 till the length of the string, and I'll maintain the frequency. I'll say whatever is the character you are standing on minus the character A, go to that index in my vector V and increment its frequency. After that, I'll traverse over the string S and use the vector of frequency to get the first index. Okay. So now what I'll do is I'll again run a for loop. I'll run it from I is equals to 0 till the length of the string that we have. And I'll say that if V S I, that means the current character standing on, and you minus a character from it, then you'll get the index of the corresponding element, right? If that is equal to 1, then you have to return that as the answer, right? And what you can do is you can say answer is equals to I. Let's quickly create an answer here, right? And initialize it with -1. Why am I doing it? Because it is given in the question that if there is no such character present, you have to return -1. So now we'll simply return the answer. I think we're good to go. Let's quickly run and then submit it. Okay, looks like there's some error. Yeah. Okay. Now, why are we getting this error is because we need to break as soon as we've got the answer. Why? Because we need the first non-repeating. So herein, you will simply add one more condition that as soon as you've got another answer, you simply break. That means you come out of the for loop. And I think we're good to go now. Yes, let's quickly submit it. Yeah, and it is working fine. So you can see that it is very clear that if as you're using a vector of size 26, which is a constant number, space complexity becomes O of 1, right? So the space complexity becomes O of 1. And when you talk about the time complexity, you can see that you're running the loops at most for the length of the string. So if you assume that the string S has n characters, right? Therefore, the time complexity will be big of n. Thank you so much for watching this video till the end. If you have any doubts, feel free to comment. Thank you. Please like, share, and subscribe.